Good morning. My name's CarlShusterman, and I'm an immigration attorney. We're going to be talking about immigration for international medical graduates, and we're going to try to go through it as a step-by-step process. Let me tell you a little bit about myself before we start talking about the legal aspects. I started doing immigration law about 30 years ago. I worked for the La Migra, the Immigration and Naturalization Service, and my job was exporting people from the United States. I was a prosecutor. And then in 1982, I went into private practice. I have a law firm in downtown Los Angeles with 5 lawyers, and one of the main things we do is we immigrate foreign-born doctors to the United States, not only from Los Angeles or California, but from all 50 states. Okay. Just one little disclaimer before we get into the law here is that everything that I'm going to tell you today, as far as I know, is current. But things in this field change from day to day, from month to month, and no matter how good your notes are today, in a month, in a year from now, a lot of things will change. So to keep up with that, what I recommend that you do, there's sign-up sheets coming around the room. I have a free email newsletter that about 44,000 people around the world subscribe to. And if you write your name very clearly, don't write it like you're writing a prescription, write it very, very clearly, you will be on the free email newsletter. Once you get your green card or your citizenship, you can easily unsubscribe if you're not interested anymore. But that's what I recommend that you do so you can keep up. So the first step that we're going to talk about is what the visa options are for people who want to go into medical residencies and fellowships. Primarily, you've probably heard about the H-1B visa, which you can get for 6 years. You can get an J-1 visa. It's good for 7 years, but there's some disabilities to that H-1B visa, to the J visa, excuse me. And then, permanent residence or citizenship, if you're lucky to get that before you start your residency or your permanent residence. Okay. To get a medical residency or fellowship in the United States, or to get those visas, you have to take a series of tests, and I think that's probably why you're enrolled in the Kaplan courses in Kaplan Medical. You have to take the U.S. Medical Licensing Examination, which is a 3-part examination, although I understand that the second part is divided up between what we call CK and CS, the clinical knowledge and the clinical skills. The clinical skills part you can only take in the United States, and part 3 of USMLE you can only take in the United States. So you either have to come to the United States on a B2 visitor's visa, or probably most of you are on F1 student visas, so you can take those exams. Okay. Now, every March, and I know because my son went through this, there is a match in the residency programs, and you pick the residency programs you like. The residency programs pick the physicians from foreign countries or the medical students from the U.S. that they like, put them into a computer match, and boom, you get matched to a specific program. And I'm going to talk about strategies for that, because when you're from a foreign country, it's not as easy as when you're born in the United States. You have to have a visa strategy. Okay. Once you get accepted into the program, if you're like most physicians and you go to ECFMG, which is the Educational Commission for Foreign Medical Graduates, they will give you a form which is called a DS, meaning Department of State 2019 form. And every year you'll get one of those forms, and that gets you J visa status. A J is an exchange visitor. Okay. If you're in the United States and you're in legal status, for instance, if you're a student, you can change your status from F1 to J1 without leaving the United States. COS on my slide stands for change of status. If for some reason you've fallen out of status, or you want to go visit your parents or go on world travels before you start your residency program, then you'll have to get the visa from the U.S. Embassy in your country.